The first book I tell anybody to read, The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. That's the beginning. You've got to fix this. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is this. It's what happens in between the ears. Second book is The Magic of Thinking Big. The Magic of Thinking Big taught me right away, man, Steve, you gotta elevate your thought process. Don't aim low, aim high. Aim for the moon. In case you miss, you still be amongst the stars.
The hardest thing to do is start. You have all these ideas and everyone has an idea, but it's really about executing the idea and building the idea and attracting other people to help you work on the idea. That is the biggest challenge. But the way to begin is to get the idea out of your head, draw it out, talk about it, program it if you're a programmer, or make it if you're building something.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it, you got to have passion.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. And if you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And your plan has got to have something I call the C5 complex. Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You've got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B. Okay, plan B sucks.
Don't complain. Don't murmur. Don't talk negative. Average people talk normal. Average people talk problems. The greats talk solutions. Average people use their time to whine and complain. Average people say it's their boss' fault, it's their mother's fault. I used to be average. I used to say, when is my daddy coming to get me? And while I would talk like that, I ended up getting kicked out of school. And while I talked like that, I ended up being homeless. And while I talked like that, I was broke. And then one day I woke up and said, Eric, nobody's coming to save you.
What are you going to do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. And see, that way you can guess what the next 5 years are gonna be like. Look at the last 5. Because the next 5 are gonna be like the last 5 unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change a little, or change something, or don't change. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life.
A lot of people can give up. It's easy to give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going. Yeah, I don't feel like going to work. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
There's this quote that I remind myself. If a flower doesn't bloom, do you blame the flower or do you blame its environment? Right? So imagine if this plant didn't bloom, are you going to blame the plant and check the plant, or are you going to check the soil? Are you going to check the light? Are you going to check the air around it, the humidity? Because that's the reason why the plant grows, right? So we are that flower, right? But if we're not growing or we're not sprouting or blooming the right way, what is your environment? Who are you talking to? Yeah. What Instagrams are you scrolling? What things are you filled with in your feed? What's your mind constantly talking about, even if it's about your body? Yeah. Even if it's constantly like when you look in the mirror and you're just fixated on that part of your body, that's
My job is to make complex financial systems simple enough so the average person can understand it. That is extremely difficult because most people are brainwashed when it comes to money. Go to school, get a job, work hard, pay your taxes, save money, get out of debt, buy a house, and invest in the stock market. Everybody who follows that program has been brainwashed.
You'll never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to jump off the cliff. You will never feel ready to take that leap. And the reason why is based on science and research. Your brain is designed to protect you, and change requires risk. And so you are protecting yourself by saying maybe tomorrow. This is where the 5-second rule comes in super handy. So if you are constantly procrastinating, you probably have a bias towards thinking, and you can use the 5-second rule to literally push yourself to take action. All you're going to do is count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. This is a starting ritual that interrupts the patterns of overthinking, of fear, of anxiety, of procrastination, of comparison that are making you go, tomorrow, not today, I don't feel like it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, your prefrontal cortex turns on. That's the part of the brain you need to either learn new behavior or take action.
Remember these things and you'll be the best person you can be. First, look at this pencil. We know that in order for it to become a useful pencil, that from time to time, again and again, it's going to have to go through a resharpening. Well, if this pencil could feel, we could imagine how painful that would be. But that's what it takes for it to be a useful pencil. Life is much the same. Painful experiences and challenges come to us all. But it is through these opportunities that we build character and we grow. Second is to keep in mind that we'll be able to correct many of the mistakes you make along the way, just like this eraser. So if we learn from our mistakes, they're not mistakes. They're lessons we can use to do better the next time around. And third, just like this pencil, every place where you are used, so to speak, you leave your mark. You're writing your own story.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
The rule number 1 is to get vitamin N.
Vitamin N?
Yes. That's the rule number 1. You need to inject yourself with vitamin N.
N is for?
N is to learn to say no. That's a vitamin.
Yeah.
That's how to get self-discipline. Secondly is setting your priorities right. Thirdly is avoid complaining. Those are the 3 factors which can lead you.
You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. You know why? Because failure is a wonderful teacher. It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. 946 times since he was in high school, the ball has been in his hand to take the game-winning shot with no time on the clock. He has only made 146 of those. He has missed over 700 times, but he has made 146. You know what they write about? When you make it. They write about when you make it. So guess what? When you get through failing, all you gotta do is make one.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right? You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.